Hey guys, I want to talk to you about holding the bottom of a squat position. Some people call it ass to grass, it doesn't terribly matter. The reason why I really want to focus on it is because the hip mobility issue, not even from a being able to squat standpoint, but more from just a health of the hip standpoint. So if you don't want to have hip replacement surgery when you're 60 years old, you might want to take care of your hips. Now, if you look at a baby, basically they crawl along the ground, then they grab onto a human's leg or something else, and eventually they end up putting themselves into the bottom of a squat before they learn to stand up. So humans learn to squat from the ground up, and then when you're past, 20 years old, the only thing that you squat down to is a car, a couch, a table, a desk, or the toilet, which is basically at that level. So that's why guys, especially when they're very tight and they have a small hip structure, they tend to bounce off their hip flexor pelvic floor and they can't get way down here in a squat without murdering their back. So holding the bottom of a squat is something I think we should do for time. Bret Contreras put out a fantastic article. I think everybody should read it. It's called 5 Things You Should Do Every Day. And in one of them was holding the bottom of a squat position for anywhere between 45 seconds to a minute. I generally think a minute is the right time frame. Even working up to being able to spend 5 to 10 minutes at that time, or 30 minutes in a total day if it's something you really need to work on. Now here's the thing, not everybody can do it. But everybody can do some form of it until eventually you make improvements. So the trick is, when I go to squat at the bottom of a squat, just plop down. Okay, what's the lowest I can plop down? Don't worry about your posture, don't worry about what's happening. The only thing you worry about, and the only thing that matters, your heels are not allowed to leave the ground. Pretty much everybody can do this. But can you actually keep your heels down and squat all the way down? I can't go any lower than this. Okay? I could be here with a better posture, more neutral spine. That doesn't matter. What matters is that my hip joint is so low in relation to my knee joint. So by all means, even if it means you have poor posture, this is a hip drill. You're working on the mobility of the hip. I don't care about that. Now, if I can keep my toes not so plié and I can keep them more forward, that's even better. But it's harder. Ankle mobility can be an issue. If you're feeling big pinching in the front of your ankle, go look up a video I did called Ankle Mobility Wall Drill. Okay, look that one up. It's a fantastic one that will improve your ankle mobility. But again, I've got to be able to hold that position for the bottom. So, generally a little wider than shoulder width, toes turned out a little bit, nothing excessive. Bend the knee, push your butt out, get nice and low. Can you relax and chill out here for 1 minute? Okay. Now, as it loosens up, and you want to breathe, as it loosens up, by all means, push the knees out, lift the chest. Okay. So I might have started here when I got down to the bottom, which is a poor posture, and then again, it doesn't matter. I care more that the hips are there. But if I can do it, knees, hips, if I don't need that and I can hold it on my own, all the better. About half the population, past 50 years old, that's where you get stuck. So come over here, I'm going to show you what we're going to do for something like that. You just take a door jamb, a table, something really solid to hold on to. I'm going to use the side of a squat rack. I'm telling you, everybody, unless you have some kind of serious hip issue, can get your hips that low. You may just not be able to support your own body weight. Again, what matters is that you're taking your hip through its fullest range of motion possible. That's what matters. Maintain the integrity of the range of motion of that joint. So I'm going to hold on to something secure. I may have to sit back and hold on to it. Again, you may only get here, that's fine. Work on getting down here. As you get better, you use less and less of the support until you're now holding yourself up. Okay? 1 minute every day. I tell you, it will change your life. Back pain will be less, hip pain will be less. If there's any limitations, okay, be it the groin, there are stretches for that. Or you can take balls and stuff like that into the hip flexor and TFL, which I have in my self-myofascial release series. If the hamstrings are too tight, look up top 5 hamstring stretches on my channel. That's there as well. But trust me, 1 minute every day, hang out at the bottom of the squat.